As you know, at Business Trends TV, we highlight the businesses that are setting trends in their respective industry. And today I definitely have one of those trendsetters. Bruce Rosenwater is a bankruptcy and foreclosure attorney in West Palm Beach. He's an expert in his industry, and he's got a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of questions that I get about the foreclosure process. And today, Bruce is going to add a lot of value to you to give you some answers to some commonly asked questions that you probably have if you're going through the foreclosure process yourself, whether it's in South Florida or any other part of the country. So, Bruce, how you doing?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
Doing great. I'm glad to have you on the show today. I guess anything you wanna start off with? I mean, obviously, you are a foreclosure attorney expert. Anything else that you want to add to that?
Well, we do bankruptcy as well, and that goes a lot with the foreclosures today. A lot of people get it, financial difficulties. I think they run hand in hand.
So how much time do I have before the foreclosure process begins, Bruce? Because that's and how long does the foreclosure process take once it starts?
Well, typically, you're not referred to what we say foreclosure by the lender until you're at least 3 months behind. But what you see typically today, it's many, many months past that. Sometimes it's 6 months. It could be we've had people come into our office and they haven't been served with a foreclosure complaint in 18 months or longer. But typically, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 months after you've stopped making your last payment. You'll be referred to foreclosure, and the foreclosure process is going to start. Once that process starts, it depends on what defenses you may have. So it's very important to get a foreclosure attorney. There may be a lot of things in the complaint that are incorrect, and you may have a lot of issues out there that could be attacked by a motion to dismiss, or even if you don't have a motion to dismiss, affirmative defenses, and there's a lot of defenses parties can raise that they neglect to raise that can continue these foreclosure processes for a very long time. And typically we find that the attorneys that are filing these actions on behalf of the lender have such a large caseload, the cases that are typically litigated sort of go to the back end. So those cases take a long time to get to be finalized. So sometimes you can be in that property 24 months, 36 months or longer while you're fighting the foreclosure action.
Wow, that's a long time. I do know, I know people that have been in properties for up to 36 months after they started the process of going through a short sale or this process. So I know that does happen, especially a lot of them down here in South Florida. What if somebody's bank won't negotiate and just wants its money? Can a Florida foreclosure attorney help in that type of situation?
Depending on the circumstances, yes. I mean, we can vigorously defend the foreclosure action. At some point, the bank may break down. While you're vigorously defending that action, you may find things that help you. You probably heard, Ryan, about the robo-signing that happened, a few years ago. Mm-hmm. There may be issues that, these people that signed these documents weren't proper. There could be securitized mortgages that weren't put into the trust within a certain period of time, didn't comply with the pool and servicing agreement. So there's a lot of issues out there that you can raise and defend these lawsuits. And while you're defending that, maybe the bank will think about changing their position. Okay,
great. Again, I think it's just important to have an attorney in this situation. Because there's so many other options that you don't think about. There's so many little loopholes that can bite you in the future. Can I remain in my home during the foreclosure process?
You're entitled to remain in your home until there's a judgment, a sale, and a writ of possession is entered against you or entered. So yes, I mean, we encourage you to stay in your home. It's a lot cheaper to remain in your home, pay your attorney, than leave your home it could be subject to vandalism, it could be subject to a lot of other things, and then you're going to go someplace else and have to pay rent. So it's in your best interest to remain in the home during the foreclosure.
Okay, great information. So a lot of people are always trying to figure out, well, I'm in the foreclosure process, Do I, obviously there's financial concerns going on, or else they wouldn't be in that situation. So when is it ever a good time to file bankruptcy during that time, or should people file bankruptcy? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you want to keep the home, the only way you're going to keep your home in a bankruptcy is the Chapter 13, which is a repayment plan. There are some, you mentioned earlier, Ryan, about second mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
There is recent case law that came down in the last year on a second mortgage. If it's completely unsecured, meaning that the house is worth 200,000, the first mortgage is 210,000, the second mortgage is 100,000. In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, there's a process where you can strip away, remove that completely unsecured second mortgage. That way, then maybe you'll be able to negotiate and keep your home just with the first mortgage. So that would help that individual in a bankruptcy. So yes, there are times where bankruptcy may help. Also, a bankruptcy stays the foreclosure process, so it acts as an automatic stay. So it buys you a little more time, not that much in a Chapter 7, but yeah, there are strategic times where bankruptcy may be helpful.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that situation with bankruptcy in a second. That's new information to me. So that's good to know for anybody that's out there.
Yeah, it used to be just in a Chapter 13, so I don't think a lot of people have utilized that in a Chapter 7, or maybe a lot of people aren't aware of that.
Is that a new law, or is that?
It's not a new law. It's a case that came down about a year ago in the 11th Circuit. So it helps us. We've used it a couple times, and many times the lender doesn't even defend.
Okay, good information. So in regards to your payment, I mean, if somebody, obviously one of the big concerns I'm sure that people have is, well, I'm in this financial situation right now. How am I going to afford an attorney? Can you maybe make that that process a little bit easier do you offer payment plans or anything like that?
Yeah, depending on the situation, we do offer. Sometimes we do on a set fee per month, and the only thing additional would be any hard costs like court reporters, filing fees. Other times we charge an hourly rate with a retainer. It just depends on the circumstance and what the person's looking for.
Okay.
But let me tell you this, Ryan, if you're going to pay us a flat fee, it's a lot cheaper than you would be paying for your mortgage or to rent someplace else to live. So it's in your best interest to, if you want to keep the home, to enter into that type of payment arrangement.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it makes more sense to go this route, especially, and at some point, the bleeding has to stop, and I think this is a great way to do that. I mean, obviously, to get expert help, and I really appreciate all the information that you've given us today. I mean, we've gone through a good, solid gamut of questions that I know that most 99% of people that are going through the foreclosure process are going to want to know the answers to. So I'm going to obviously keep this on our Business Trends TV YouTube channel. We're gonna also post some of these answers to your YouTube channel to help people out in this foreclosure process. Obviously, you're an expert that can help people in this type of situation. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you guys?
The best way, they can probably email us or go on our website and they can put a question. The phone number is 705-0627. That's area code 561. But we're more than happy to help anyone with any questions they may have. And if it's just a general question, go on, email us or go onto the website. If you need more information or want to schedule an appointment, give us a call. That's what we're here for.
Okay, awesome. And I think one of your numbers I think I had earlier is 561-705-0627, and then it's bankruptcy attorney West Palm Beach FL.com is his website. Is there any last parting words that you have to say to people if they're in this process?
I just want to say this is a complicated area. You really should see an attorney. See an attorney that has a lot of expertise in this area. What we're seeing today is a lot of people that have been doing other things or trying to dabble into foreclosure defense. And I like to tell my clients sometimes when they balk about a fee or something, You know, when you buy a good suit, it's going to last you for a long time. If you buy a cheap suit, you're going to have to keep buying them. So what you want is the best legal advice, and sometimes it costs more than someone else, but don't be penny wise and pound foolish.
Gotcha. And you've been practicing this area for many years, so I think that yeah, it's obviously this is your area of expertise, and I appreciate the time that you gave us today. And thanks, Bruce. And we'll probably do this again in a month and a half or so to talk about another topic that people are going to want to know information about too. Okay.
I look forward to that. Thank you for your time.